Let's raise the big questions then. Prime Minister Manipur outreach. Is it too little, too late? Delivering justice is really the key to Manipur peace. Is it time to lift President's rule and hold elections? And is Manipur still the biggest security challenge for the Modi government? Questions I want to raise. Joining me now, Lieutenant General Khonzam Himalay Singh, ex-Corps Commander 16 Corps, former Chairman Manipur Public Service Commission. Thongolai Haukip, Associate Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance at JNU, former advisor to the Kuki Students Organization or KSO, and Bina Lakshmi Nepram, Founder Director, Manipur Women Gun Survivor Network. I appreciate all my guests joining us. Let me come to you first, Bina Lakshmi, and ask you the question, do you believe that the Prime Minister's visit is too little, too late? Or is it simply now another opportunity, a window of hope that we have that Manipur's ethnic divide can finally be bridged with a healing touch from the Prime Minister?
Thank you, Rajdeep. First of all, Manipur continues to be a wounded state. I have just come back from different, what is known as buffer zones, areas where communities who have been living in community with each other, trading, exchanging vegetables, marriage alliances, they've all been cut till today, where barbed wires and Indian military are on those particular areas. I've just come from visiting some of them. So the Prime Minister's visit, Rajdeep, for me as an analyst, we are just 2 years down the Manipur elections. This is, for me, as a scholar, it is a stunt for politics, because 2 years down the line, the 8,500 crore deposit or the investment that is announcing, Manipur today, if you come to Manipur, the roads are full of potholes. There is no development in the way it should be. Of course, there are trains coming and all of that, but genuine development has not happened. Families are still hurting. There are 70,000 families who have lost everything. They're still, many of them still living in pathetic conditions.
We'll try and go back to Bina Lakshmi in a moment, but Thongolal Haukip, do you believe that the real challenge is to provide justice? There are thousands of people who still live in relief camps. There are people still fearful, Kukis fearful to go back to their work that they had in Imphal and vice versa. Meiteis who cannot go into Churachandpur. How do you bridge the trust divide? Is delivery of justice the real challenge?
Rasdeep, you rightly pointed it out. Even before the ground for visit of Prime Minister Modi is prepared, I think justice must be, justice must prevail. Look into the demands of various Kuki Joe groups. They are still crying for justice of the murder of David Sheikh, the burning of baby Tonsing, and many others. And if you look into the cases that are handled by NIA, there's no future insight regarding these cases, particularly by the Kukizo communities. On the other hand, you find that various excesses committed by the Kukizo side, they have been, delivered justice. They are under trial in the NIA. So this is the kind of disparity in terms of justice. And before he could visit, this kind of...
No, are you saying, are you telling me, Mr. Haukip, that Kukis have, no, 1 minute. Are you telling me Kukis have not got justice and Meiteis have got justice? Because I have heard Meiteis telling me just the opposite. They claim that they are not also getting justice, and the Kuki groups have been blocking the highways, blocking the roads, while the Meiteis claim that they are not getting justice either.
No, Rasdeep, the Kuki Joe groups never blocked the highway. Even at the peak of the conflict, there were just a few instances of 1 or 2 days blockade, and then the highway were released of any other, transportation. So there's no case of the highway being blocked. Since it is a conflict situation, for a full, free transportation in terms of civilians and other, it will take time. But in terms of essential commodities, in terms of any other, the Kuki-Zo groups never blocked these national highways. So,
No.
and if you look into the
Okay,
problem of the
but that's
Northeast,
not
there
that's not
are
entirely true. No, Mr. Haukip, that's not entirely true. Who blocked who? No, no. You see, I don't want to get into a blame game, but the fact of the matter is, if I'm a Meitei who was living in Churachandpur and pushed out and had to go back to Imphal, I've struggled to go back to Churachandpur and vice versa, which is where I come. There is the delivery of justice and there is a need to restore trust deficit. Lieutenant General Konzam Himalay Singh, how are you going to bridge this trust deficit? The truth of the matter is that the Prime Minister is visiting Manipur, good, but what about the fact that for the last 2.5 years, there has been a political vacuum of sorts? The Biren Singh government was accused of being openly partisan in favor of the Meiteis. Groups like Arambal, Tengol were allowed, militias of the Meitei groups were allowed to virtually run amok during May, June last year of 2023. Who is going to deliver justice? Is a prime ministerial visit going to deliver justice? Simply inaugurating 8,500 crores worth of projects is not delivering justice, surely, General.
Rajdev, thank you very much. At the outset, I must tell you that Rajdev, delivering justice is a perceptional issue. What happens is there are more than 20,000 FIRs there. I think it is a little more than 20,000 FIRs as far as this
That's
crisis.
right, more than 20,000.
Yeah. So, one can't say that, so and so is victim, so and so is victim. We have to look at it from a national interest point of view and interest of the people at large. Justice will come. Let me assure you, the long arm of justice will come someday. It is just a question of time. So I think both sides need not unduly get worried about who is getting justice now and who is not getting justice now. As far as the Prime Minister's visit is concerned, I think...
No, sir, but with due regard again, General, what about groups? Sir, with due regard, you're saying justice will come, but groups like Arambal, Tengol had state patronage. And they are the ones who are being held responsible for the violence that took place in Imphal. Now, who's going to act against them? They still get away. Nobody has cracked down on them.
Rajdev,
It is not just about the armed militia groups, but Manipur is home to 60 armed
Just a
groups.
minute, Bina Lakshmi. Please let the General complete. Let the General complete. Yeah, go ahead, General.
So, Bina Lakshmi, I think she just opened the account by saying there are more than 50 odd armed groups. Most of them are banned. Many of them are under some kind of an agreement. Some of them are still existing. So actually, one can't really blame one alone. It is the entire illegally, established armed gangs all over. I'm not saying any one community. All the communities have armed gangs which are fighting against, if not against the Indian state, against the constitution, against Manipur. So therefore, I think we have to take it. You mentioned about Arambai Tengol. And in fact, I saw in the social media, they were the first one to welcome Prime Minister to Manipur as far as the visit is concerned. So actually, in a situation where there has been so much of mistrust, so much of violence, actually it's very difficult actually to say that, so and so, only one group has been, to be targeted. I think all the groups
Sir,
need
I
some...
take it. But who is...
Yeah.
Okay, I take that point, sir. I take that point. But who is going to disarm these armed groups, Bina Lakshmi Nepram? You see, there are so many arms that have been flowing in, and there's a belief that some have come across the border from Myanmar. There are these armed groups, some in the Kuki area, some in the Meitei areas. Who's going to disarm them? Isn't that the big challenge first?
Yes, absolutely. This is why I think disarmament process is a must. And there is where the government of India is actually failing in its duty, and I hope New Delhi is listening to this program, that government of India is failing in its duty to take arms out of civilian hands in both hills and the valley. Until this is done, Rajdeep, then our lives, both in the hills and the valley of Manipur, will be controlled by men with guns who are close to guns, drugs, and political power. So I think unless this criminality of our democracy, criminality of our lives are done away with, Manipur will never, ever have peace. Right now, the Prime Minister's visit, as I said, is coming at a time when mothers are still waiting for more than many missing children who have not 33 missing till today, and many others who are still living in relief camps. The Prime Minister of India failed in it. If today Manipuri people, both in the hills of Barry, do a report card of the Prime Minister, he's supposed to be a constitutional head. He's supposed to safeguard the fundamental rights, freedom of life, freedom of speech. He's supposed to safeguard national security. He has failed. Mr. Prime Minister, you have failed on all these counts. You may have executive and administrative, the things done in terms of getting food to the relief camps, but the Prime Minister and his cabinet have failed. As a result, Manipuri people give the report card that you have only got 50% done. His coming is not because he wants to hug us. He wants
but
to.
let's be fair.
From those who have been lost. But he's coming because elections is in 2 years. So please stop playing with our lives. Our democracy.
Let's be fair. Bina Lakshmi, 1 minute.
Politics.
Bina Lakshmi, ma'am, be fair. When the Prime Minister didn't come for 2.5 years, it was said, where is the Prime Minister? Now he's coming, and it said it's coming with an eye on the election. But Mr. Haukim, what do you want to hear from the Prime Minister? What do you want to hear? What do the Kuki groups? Yesterday night, some Kuki protesters tried to pull away posters of the Prime Minister. They tried to keep coffins near the stage where he's going to give a speech. What do Kukis want to hear? What is the message from the Prime Minister you want to hear?
Rajdeep, New Delhi's policy to the Northeast always has been two-pronged. One is political and the other is, economic. This time, when the Prime Minister wants to visit Manipur, he has only adopted an economic approach. That is, announcing and inaugurating some developmental projects, and he neglected the political one, the political, solution of the present crisis. And if you look into these developmental packages, also out of the 21 projects, you would find that 11 of the projects are mainly concentrated to the Imphal Valley, and some of them in the Naga areas, and 1 or 2 only in the Churachandpur district and other Kukizo areas. And even if you look into infrastructure creation in some districts, it is only in Kakching and Kamjong, not a single district in the newly created district of the hill areas. So particularly the Kukizo areas. So if you look into this, why should the Prime Minister visit Churachandpur to inaugurate just 2, developmental projects in the district? Why can't he go to Okhrul, where he is planning to release about, hundreds of crores in this, Naga areas? So the Kukis have this.
So what sir, Mr. Haukim, what do you want to hear from him? Sir, it's one thing about what do you want the Prime Minister to say that will give you confidence? Very quickly, what do you want the Prime Minister to say?
If the government of India is reluctant to interfere into the territorial integrity of Manipur, let him look into the particular demands. If you look into the hill areas of the Northeast, you have some forms of political autonomy since independence. And Tripura has been added into this, account in the early 80s. Manipur has been demanding this for the last 45 years, and there has been no, progress in this because Imphal Valley is opposing to these demands of political autonomy within the state. So this is the main problem, and he should come with some.
So you're asking you. So you want the Prime Minister to announce some kind of political autonomy or some kind of council for the Kuki-dominated areas. Unlikely to happen on this visit, but I want to give you General Konsam Himalay Singh a final word. What would you like to hear from the Prime Minister? What is it that would give you a sense that yes, things are on the right track?
Firstly, the visit of Prime Minister must be welcome. It is not an everyday affair. Secondly, what I would like to hear about from the Prime Minister is Honorable Prime Minister must ensure that he addresses the national security perspective, what is happening in the Indo-Myanmar borders. And in addition to that, he must address, because it is not about just the ethnic crisis, it's about national security concern. That's what I would like him to understand and appreciate. And the second issue is that whatever is affecting the people of Manipur, the crisis has made Manipur, gone back by at least 20, 30 years. So I want him to address the political, economic, and other social issues which are known to the people in Delhi. I want that the Prime Minister should take a decisive action to bring peace. This is what I would like to hear from him in this 3 hours visit to Manipur.
Okay.
He must give some kind of a,
Okay. As I said, a flying visit for. Okay. A flying visit. A flying visit from the Prime Minister may not be enough, but like it or not, it is a step forward. Yes, Veena Lakshmi, I'm giving you 30 seconds and no more.
Yes. Rasdeep, the Prime Minister's visit is too little, too late. He should have come before. He should have come before. He has the moral authority to be able, it is in his duty to do so, and he failed to do so. So the people of Manipur, the national, the integrity of Manipur will remain sacrosanct. While it is important that the grievances of all the 35 ethnic groups which are recognized by the government of Manipur, their grievances must be looked into. At the same time, to know that we are not to be played around for their political game, that for more than 70 years, 3.3 people, Manipuris, we've been living under martial law. We've been living under militarization and weaponization of our lives. And this must stop. Peace talks done only with men with guns must be stopped, and ensure that people of all communities must be, and together with the women groups, we're able to build a Manipur that is well-deserving for every ethnic group to live together in peace and harmony.
I'm going to stop I've run out of time. I've listened to all the voices. I've listened to all of you. It's not an easy challenge, but it's a challenge that must be met. It's probably the government's biggest internal security challenge at the moment. I appreciate my guests joining me on that talking point. Unfortunately, most primetime channels will not tell you about Manipur, and that's one of the many tragedies. We can talk about that separately.